Good morning. This is a PPD2 project for Miss Cindy on Singapore's food security presented by Ban, Nabil, Sean and Elmos. This is the overview of the selected team and the questions.
So, what did the group learn about food security? So, food security in Singapore refers to the availability and access to sufficient, safe, and nutritious food to meet the dietary needs and food preference for its population. Singapore takes food security very seriously as the country is highly dependent on food import due to its limited land and water resources. The factor that can affect food supply in Singapore how Singapore maintains a well-established food security system, monitor and enhance its food security strategies to ensure a stable and sufficient food supply for its citizens. The disruptions of supply chains and dependency of Singapore on the international community for various food production. Why is food security important Singapore? Food security is important for Singapore because it ensures the population always has access to safe and nutritious food. Food security is essential for economic, social, and environmental sustainability of Singapore. Ensuring an adequate and sustainable food supply is critical for the country's future growth and development. In addition, being an island nation with limited arable land, Singapore has to rely on imports for most of its food supply, making food security a critical issue for national security and food independence. Because Singapore relies heavily on imports for the majority of its food supply, it places the country at a very vulnerable position. Past events have illustrated how external factors such as pandemics, natural disasters, and trade distribution can directly affect Singapore's food supply stability drastically. Highlighting the importance of ensuring food security for the country is very crucial. What are some factors affecting Singapore's food security? Some factors have affect Singapore's food security are diseases, climate change, trade distribution, rising food prices, and food waste. Just gonna ignore the howler. If I explain, it's gonna go past 15 minutes.
Okay. Some of the past events that has affected Singapore's food supply stability was COVID-19 pandemic, where it disrupted global and food supply chains, the 2011 Fukushima nuclear disaster, which led to food production disruptions from the Japanese sector, in the 2021 Suez Canal blockage, the container ship disrupted global trade, affecting Singapore's food supply from outside countries. A drought in Malaysia in 2019 affected our rice and other dairy supplies. Haze from forest fires affected air pollution and health concerns. 2007 to 2008 global crisis, there was a sharp increase in food prices which led to food shortages and riots in several countries, which also affected Singapore. The African swine fever in 2019, which was the outbreak in China, led to country's pork supply, which led to pork prices and shortage of pork in Singapore. These events highlights and illustrates how external factors such as pandemics, natural disasters, and trade disruptions can affect Singapore's food supply and highlight the importance of ensuring food security for the country.
How does Singapore ensure we have adequate food supply? To ensure adequate food supply, the Singapore government has implemented several measures such as diversifying food sources, promoting agriculture and investing in research and in food technology, strong food safety regulations, and laws to mitigate the impact of any food supply disruptions. In addition, the government has established strong food safety regulations and emergency stockpiles to mitigate the impact of disruptions to the health of food security organizations, such as AV. Over 90% of Singapore's food comes from over 170 countries and regions and not dependent on one country. 30 by 30 is Singapore's target to build up our agri-food industry's capability and capacity to produce 30% of our nutritional needs locally and sustainably. Government agency overseeing Singapore's 30 by 30 plan has funding to support agri-tech startups. This includes an SGD 60 million, which is a USD 43 million. Food cluster transformation funds provide capital to farms to expand their crop cultivation capabilities and capacity.
These are some of the visual imageries that show how Singapore ensures food stability. On the left side of the slide, you can see through the years of 2019 to 2021, how Singapore has branched out from to more countries in food production and in food supply, coming to mutton, beef, pork, poultry, processed eggs, and hand-shelled eggs. Singapore plans to diversify 170 countries and religions for their food supply to grow 30 by 30 locally and growing their crops overseas. Some of the agencies that focuses on food security in Singapore are SFA, Singapore Food Agency, AVA, and Ministry of Environment and Water Resources. Some examples of what Singapore does to ensure we have an adequate food supply is by diversification of food sources. The government has been working to diversify food sources to ensure stable supply by importing over 170 countries and promoting local production of eggs, vegetable, and fish to reduce the reliance on imports. Food stockpiling. Singapore maintains a stockpile of essential foods such as rice, sugar, and cooking oil to ensure there is a sufficient food supply in the event of any disruption. Increasing local food production. Singapore has been promoting local food production through the initiatives such as urban farming, rooftop gardens. The government has set a target to produce 30% of the country's nutritional needs locally by 2030. Food safety and quality assurance. The agri-food culture and local producers to ensure compliance with its standards. Research and development. Singapore invests in research and development to improve food production and food security. The government has set up research institutes such as SFA and Food Innovation and Resource Centre to develop new food technologies and processes. Oh, Larry, right. Some of the job opportunities in the food security sector. One of them is planning in food manufacturing supply chain. The roles and responsibilities are developing production plan, monitoring production status, work closely with purchasing and warehouse logistic groups, analyzing issues of production, and preparing status and performance reports. The required technical skills for this job is at least 2 years of production planning experience in manufacturing industry and being proficient in an ERP system, Business Central 365, with good knowledge of supply chain and material flow concepts and production planning reporting. Soft transferable skills are good proficiency in Microsoft Office, good communication skill, good team player, energetic and willing to work hard, and also management and planning logistics in supply chain. In the gaps that I have with my technical skills for this job, I do not have the required technical skills in supply knowledge, material flow concepts, and production. It also in proficiency in ERP systems and Microsoft Dynamic Nav. I do not have these technical skills as they are quite advanced for me and that I have not reached the level of academic knowledge in the area of technical skills. Some of the soft skills that I've gapped in wait cut um in the gaps for my soft transferable skills, I have aligned with some of the requirements of these jobs, and that and the soft skills are management, communication, and interpersonal skills because of my past experiences with events and projects. However, I am lacking in the skill in proficiency in Microsoft Office as I have never had any experience with using Microsoft Office software. I lack experience in the supply chain management and planning skills with food production and transport as I have not done any supply chain related work. I also do not have knowledge or educational certificates relating to food manufacturing as I am currently studying in the IT industry.
It's already done.
Yeah.
So the second job opportunities that we select is urban farmer. So the roles and responsibility is work in an urban farm located in the west of Singapore, Pivato, etc. Then flexible days and working hours is available. Then location available in different parts of the island. Then must know how to seed, harvesting, and delivery of vegetables. And appreciate someone who could also do general maintenance on the farm machine and structures. Then for qualification required, class 3/3A driving license, able to work 5 days a week, including one weekend, Singaporean or PR, able to communicate in English, able to work with power tools. Job prospect and career progression, he or she can be promoted to be a supervisor or a senior farmer, able to progress in job in the agriculture and food production industry. Then other useful information, candidates over 40 years old may receive sponsorship to attend an agri-tech training under career conversion program. Okay, then the required technical skills for the job is the ability to apply technology, irrigation, cultivation techniques, and harvesting. The soft skills required is adaptability, interpersonal skills, and time management skills. So the gaps I have for the technical skills is in my course of study, I don't have any of these skills since my course is part of IT and I have nothing to do with farming related. I have no knowledge in any of the technical skills needed for the job. So for the soft skills, personally, adaptability is a problem that can be improved as I struggle to adapt to newer things. I prefer to stay as usual than changing and updating stuff. Then for the second one is time management skills is not really a problem, but I'll say there's plenty of improvement as I do sometimes get distracted and lost track of time to submit my work. That A third job opportunities for this is the food technology to play a critical role in the post-harvest process, keeping produce fresh and safe, along with shelf life evaluation, auditing, food packaging analysis, sensitivity evaluation, waste valorization, and new product development. To qualify, you need to have a degree in food or chemical engineering, along with nutrition or chemistry. Required is to be knowledgeable in data analysis, food science, and food production. And along with being good, knowledgeable in food science or chemical engineering, along with not having experience in the food production or food service industry. So some soft skills which I do not have is working in a massive team due to the attention of detail food technologies needs to communicating with everybody involved to ensure human error is limited.
Thank you for your time, teachers.
Thank you for your time.
All right,